Thank you for tuning into TTV. I'm your host Toya, and today is Wisdom Wednesday, and we are talking about the Tao Te Ching. Okay, so what the Tao Te Ching is, it is what they call old wise man verses or old Chinese proverbs. Okay, and it's really just that. It's just a book of different proverbs that some old wise people put together, and somebody found, and like 4,500 years ago it was written, and today we can still learn from it. And that's one of the things that really fascinates me with it, is the fact that it still applies today. So we're talking almost 5,000 years later, and we still doing the same things. But in any case, that's why I go over it. Now, it is not religious text. It's more philosophical, okay? Or I shouldn't even say that. It's more like a spiritual teachings, okay? So as it gets you closer, or wants to get you, drive you closer to what it calls the great integrity. And the great integrity is really whatever you call, your creator. So whether it's God, Yahweh, Jehovah, Allah, whatever name you give it, spirit, source, that's what the great integrity is, in my opinion, anyway. Tell me what you think, but that's what I think it is. And so today we are on verse 39, and it's called Then and Now. Okay, so what I do is I just read it, and then I go over and give my opinion on what I think it means, or what lesson I got out of it. Now, I only skimmed through this. I didn't actually read through it because I like to do that with you guys here on camera. So let's get to it. Okay, so in ancient times, all entities had their own integrity and function. The sky was clear and endless. The earth was calm and firm. The gods were charged with spiritual power. The wells were clean and full. The 10,000 creatures were healthy and fecund. Leaders were elected to plan the work and defense of the community. How wondrous and concordant. If the skies were not endless, it could have fallen. If the earth was not firm, it could have burst. If the gods did not exercise their spiritual powers, then they would have been abandoned. If the wells were not full, they could have dried up. If the 10,000 creatures were not productive, they could have become extinct. If the leaders did not plan the work and defense of the communities, they would have been replaced. In this way, each entity had its own essentiality, each part of complementing every other. Nowadays, when the privileged among us identify themselves with the orphans, the widower, and the hungry one, it may be an opportunistic appeal for support of the lowly, or a realization that loudly triumphing self-glory negates itself, or premonition that shining like a jade and resounding like a stone chimes attracts the desperate adventurers among those deprived of hope, inviting disaster among those who create the deprivations. All right, so it's a lot in that one. So basically what I'm getting out of this, and like I said, I'm gonna go through and read it first, but it gives you an idea of how our ancestors used to live. Which is funny because it's another video I'm doing. I think tomorrow's video is on this, is at top, well, kind of on the same topic. But in ancient times, all entities had their own integrity and function. The sky was clear and endless. The earth was calm and firm. The gods were charged with the spiritual powers. The wells were clean and dry and full. 10,000 creatures were healthy and fertile. We're just going to use that word. Leaders were elected to plan the work and defenses of the community, and how wondrous and concordant. So everything had an order to it. Everything was moving and flowing freely. Like everybody had their job and they knew what to do. Okay, and you can see the benefit. You can see the results of what everybody was doing. So everybody was coming together. Everybody had their own job, and it was working beautifully smooth. It was all rainbows and sunshine. Okay. And the reason is because if the skies were not endless, it would have fallen. Everything would have collapsed, basically, is what this whole section is saying. If one part of the whole was messed up, whether it was, the gods that were, the spiritual power, they had the spiritual power helping everybody, the whales, the sky, the leaders, whatever it was, if it wasn't doing what it was supposed to be doing, the whole system would collapse. And I think that's what the second section is, about the skies were not endless, they would have fallen. If the earth was not firm, it could have burst. If the gods did not exercise their spiritual powers, they would have been abandoned, and so on and so forth. So if nobody did what they were supposed to do, the system would have collapsed and they would have been replaced or ignored. If you were a god and you ain't do what you were supposed to do, you forgot. Kind of like where we are now. A lot of the gods that they used to worship back in the day don't get worshiped now because, it didn't get passed down. People came away from that. So nowadays, the privileged among us identify themselves with the orphan, the widower, and the hungry one. It may be an opportunistic appeal for the support of the lowly or realization that loudly triumphing self glory negates itself. Or premonition that shining like a jade and resounding like a stone chime attracts the desperate adventurers among those deprived of hope, inviting disaster among those who create the deprivations. So basically, that's you coming around. Like, y'all know how that go. Every year election time, what happens? You have, those people who want to get elected, and the political figures, they come around. Who they come around? They come around. They want to get that black vote. They want to get the minority vote. What's the opinion? Like, can I win, y'all? That's what they do. They come around. You have the rich. They see an opportunity. Well, let me donate to this charity and that charity. Why? Because I can get that tax write-off. So he's saying that when you get to this privileged situation, you look down on people and you don't see the people and what they go through every day and how they are an essential part of the whole day. You're looking down on them and see what you can get out of it, how you can benefit out of it. And I think we do see that a lot. I think we also focus on it too much because there are a lot of people out there that are very good who have the money, and they don't see it as an opportunistic appeal, like, oh, look what I can do and boast about, but it's really in their heart to do. And one of the people that just came to mind, I was thinking about it, was the guy from Fast and the Furious. I can't remember his name. But one of the things that he would do is he would surprise people, like there was this one story where he went into this jewelry store to pick up something, and there was a couple in there trying to, looking shopping for a wedding ring. Because they were about to get engaged and they needed a wedding ring. And so he told the clerk, put that on my tab, charge me for whatever ring they pick. And so he bought the engagement ring for them, and I don't think he did it because he did it and then he left, So he didn't do it for accolades or do it just, for the benefit. He did it because he could and it was in his heart to do. So I think sometimes that we focus and we see, especially in movies and on TV and in social media, we see a lot of that where people with money are looking down on the others when actually there are those that are out there that do for other people. Because I know I would be one of them. If I had money like that, I would be one of those people, that would do for other people. And I wouldn't do it just because I'm expecting something in return. I would do it because it was in my heart to do. Heck, I do it now. If I have a couple of extra bucks and I see the person in front of me struggling, here, don't worry about it. I'll get the rest. I'll cover the rest. Or what, let me pay for theirs behind me too, so even now you have people who do that who aren't rich or not in those privileged positions who do it, and those people, I believe, if they had money, would just do more of it. So I really don't, I understand it being in here and I understand what is being said, but I just think that we as a society, we focus too much on that negative aspect of it, and we should focus more so on the positive. Yes, you have those bad apples out there, but that doesn't mean the whole orchard needs to be destroyed. You just might have a couple of apples on there that you need to take out, and get rid of. Or you might need to treat the whole tree, so that you can have no more bad apples on that tree. But that's it. I'm finished. I'm going to leave it there and get off my soapbox. But that's it for today. I hope you liked it. If you did, please like, subscribe, and share, and drop a comment down below. Tell me what you think. All right, I love y'all, and I will talk to you tomorrow.